So whether we believe that the story of Noah in the flood is true or not is actually irrelevant to whether the story is true. One thing is sure though, both Jesus and the apostles believed that it was true, and they spoke of Noah and the flood as a real occurrence and a real person. Our faith in what they say, meaning Jesus and the apostles then, is only as strong as the faith we have in the story that they attest to. If we don't believe in the flood then, we have no reason to believe anything else that they say, Jesus or the apostles. Peter wrote this to us in his first epistle: "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but made alive by the Spirit, by whom also he went and preached to the spirits in prison, who formerly were disobedient when once the divine long-suffering waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was being prepared, in which, that is, 8 souls were saved through water." So not only does Peter speak of Noah as real, but he speaks of the flood as real. And not just any flood. He speaks of a global flood in which only 8 survivors came through it. But in this exact same passage that I read, he said that Christ died for our sins and that Christ was resurrected by the power of God. If the flood of Noah isn't true, then everything else that Peter says is suspect as well. It's totally unreliable, including the very resurrection that he mentions right in this verse. And we are left in this world without hope. That's all there is to it. Either we take Noah as an actual figure and the flood as a real account, or it's pointless for us to go on in our Christian walk. The Bible is a unified whole. And so to disregard any part of it, just take out any part that you don't like, it is to relegate the entire book to both a waste of time and just an unnecessary dust collection device. So when you sit, for example, in a church with a female pastor, which the Bible forbids, then you alone have to justify why you were there when you meet the Lord. And suppose you're having an illegitimate affair to somebody that you're not married to, then you alone will face the Lord and you will have to explain why. It's a unified whole, and these little things that we say, well, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do this, are actually very important to the Lord because this is his word. So today I wore my tie. It's got all the books of the Bible on, not all of them. But if you just say, I'm not going to take it, the book of Colossians is real, and take that out, then this entire thread just falls apart. It's a unified whole, and we need to keep that in our proper perspective as we walk through our Christian life and we evaluate the pages of the Bible and the individual verses, which sometimes we dislike. Our text verse for today says, "But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be." That's the words of Jesus himself. So may God speak to us through his word today, and may his glorious name ever be praised.